Have you ever felt a yearning, even a longing for love, as if it were the missing piece that would finally complete your life? Love is frequently portrayed in society as the ultimate aim, the summit of human experience, and the magical answer to all of our problems. But what if we told you that this never-ending search for love may be more of a hindrance than an aid in achieving real pleasure and contentment? You watch videos in my channel, but don't subscribe to the channel, so please subscribe the channel to become a family of 2,000 subscribers. So please subscribe the channel. Thank you. Hello and welcome to our exploration of a viewpoint that may question all you've been taught about love. Today we'll go back in time to investigate the ancient Stoics' wisdom. Stoicism, a philosophical school formed in the 3rd century BC, held that virtue, or the ultimate good, is predicated on knowledge, and that the wise live in harmony with divine reason which controls nature. The Stoics had some extremely astute things to say about our emotions, particularly love. They felt that rather than allowing our emotions to govern us, we should learn to understand and regulate them. What does this have to do with our current romantic pursuits? Stay tuned as we dissect the Stoics' ideas and investigate why they felt we should not pursue love. As we go more into the Stoic perspective on love, it's critical to grasp the opinions of some of its most significant thinkers. Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus, among others, made important contributions to the Stoic view of love. Seneca, a well-known Stoic philosopher, wrote extensively about emotions such as love. He thought that love is a natural and vital aspect of life, but that it should not devour you. Seneca believed that love, like other emotions, ought to be tempered and controlled. It should not become an obsession that pulls us away from the path of morality and wisdom. Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and a devout Stoic, expressed similar ideas in his well-known book, Meditations. He emphasized the significance of retaining emotional control, reminding us that we have the ability to mold our views and responses. Epictetus, a former slave-turned-philosopher, emphasized that our peace is dependent on discriminating between what we can and cannot manage. And while we have no influence over whether or not someone else loves us, we do have power over how we react to these sensations. The notion of chosen indifference is central to Stoicism. These are parts of life that are neither intrinsically good or evil, but can contribute to a good existence if managed wisely. According to the Stoics, love falls under this group. It is neither a virtue in and of itself, nor is it fundamentally wicked. Rather, love can enrich our life, but it should not be our ultimate objective or decide our pleasure. Isn't this a radical viewpoint, especially when juxtaposed with popular myths about love being the ultimate source of happiness and fulfillment? However, the Stoics believe that genuine tranquility comes from inside, not from outside influences, including love. But what exactly do we mean by seeking love? To seek love means to make finding a loving partner your major objective in life. It is the unwavering pursuit of love, often at the expense of other aspects of human development. When we chase love, we are continuously looking for someone else to complete, fulfill, and provide significance to our lives. On the surface, this may not appear to be a problematic strategy. After all, love is a lovely and fulfilling aspect of the human experience. When we go further, it becomes evident that this thinking may lead to a slew of issues. To begin with, it places our happiness in the hands of someone else. We often associate our feeling of self-worth and satisfaction with whether or not we are in a romantic relationship. When we pursue love, we may feel incomplete or as if we are failing while we are single. However, the Stoics would argue that this is an incorrect source of worth. They believed in achieving satisfaction inside oneself rather than seeking it from other sources. Furthermore, when we are obsessed with seeking love, we may overlook other vital elements of our lives, such as personal growth, interests, or friendships. We might become so engrossed in our goal that we lose sight of ourselves, our originality, and the characteristics that distinguish us. Third, seeking for love can lead to bad partnerships. We can miss warning signals, suffer maltreatment, or settle for partners who aren't suited for us. When our primary aim is to be in a relationship, any relationship. We might become so needy for love that we lose sight of what it means to be in a healthy, respectful, and rewarding relationship. Lastly, seeking love can be a never-ending, disappointing quest. If we're always seeking for love, we're always looking forward, always looking for the next thing. We're never present, never content with what we have right now. As Seneca put it, he who is everywhere is nowhere. Pursuing love, on the other hand, might lead to a life of dissatisfaction, endless striving, and finally sadness. However, this does not imply that the Stoics were opposed to love. They, on the other hand, valued it. They did, however, advocate for a different, more attentive approach. Let us go further into Stoicism's love lessons. Consider Epictetus, a former slave who rose to become one of the most important Stoic thinkers. His ideas revolved around the concept of control, differentiating between what we can and cannot influence. According to Epictetus, love belongs to the latter kind. In the Discourses, he instructs, "Remember that you must behave in life like at a dinner party. Is there anything presented to you? Put your hand up and take your fair portion in moderation. Does it pass you by? Don't put a halt to it. Is it still not here? Wait for it to come to you, rather than stretching your passion towards it." What exactly he's saying here is to enjoy love when it comes your way, to completely connect with it while it's present in your life, but not to desperately seek it out when it's not there, or to clutch it too tightly when it attempts to go. Seneca, another prominent Stoic philosopher, preached that one should love without attachment, recognizing that everything is fleeting. This is not to encourage emotional detachment or apathy, but rather to encourage resilience in the face of change and loss. Seneca said, "He who loves with longing is constantly distressed." These views were mirrored by Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. In his Meditations, he stated, "Accept the things to which fate binds you and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do it with all your heart." This advice urges us to participate with love totally when it enters our lives, yet without clutching or desperation. These Stoic love principles lead us to a better and more resilient approach to love. They tell us to respect and enjoy and completely participate with love, but not to make it the primary center of our life or the single source of our pleasure. At the end, love should be a portion of our lives rather than the totality of them. Adopting the Stoic perspective of not seeking love may significantly enhance your life. This may appear paradoxical in a society where we are urged to pursue our desires with zeal. Yet Stoicism teaches us a more nuanced approach. To begin with, not seeking love can result in a strong feeling of emotional resilience. We become vulnerable to emotional upheaval when we link our happiness and self-worth to whether or not we are in a love relationship. We may build an emotional balance that remains steady, whether or not love is present in our lives, by taking a step back and not feverishly chasing it. Second, not seeking love promotes self-actualization. It's all too simple to believe that we need another person to complete ourselves. Stoicism, on the other hand, supports the notion that we are already whole and capable of finding contentment within ourselves. We may devote more time and attention to personal growth, understanding ourselves and fostering our hobbies and interests. When we stop seeking love, we learn to be content with ourselves, which makes us more self-reliant and robust. It is not about avoiding or being indifferent to love, but rather about allowing love to come to you in its own time and way. It takes a lot of effort to shift from a love-chasing attitude to one of acceptance and self-fulfillment. It necessitates reflection, patience, and dedication. So how can we use these Stoic ideas in our daily lives? Here are some actions you can take. Number 1, self-awareness. Begin by identifying your patterns. Are you continually looking for approval from others? Are you hopping from one relationship to the next because you're afraid of being alone? The first step toward changing is being honest with yourself about these tendencies. Number 2, conscious relationships. When you do start dating, keep Stoic ideas in mind. Maintain your individuality. Don't rely on the relationship for happiness, and make sure there's mutual respect and understanding. Number 3, self-esteem. Instead of seeking affection from other sources, begin creating it within yourself. Whether you're in a romantic relationship or not, engage in self-care activities. pursue your hobbies, and create a life you like. Remember that you are already complete. Number 4. Appreciate solitude. The Stoics saw seclusion is valuable. It allows us to better understand ourselves, reflect, and evolve. Spend some time alone and learn to love your own company. Number 5. Emotional resilience. Improve your emotional management skills. Stoicism does not imply not feeling anything, but rather not allowing your emotions to govern your actions and decisions. Mindfulness practice might be a nice place to start. Number 6. Patience. It's easy to get caught up in the pursuit of love in the age of dating apps. Instead, work on your patience. Allow love to come to you naturally and at its own speed. Remember that this is a journey. There will be days when you struggle, and that is perfectly normal. Change takes time, but each step you take brings you closer to a life of emotional resilience, self-actualization, and healthier relationships. The Stoics taught us to accept love when it is present, let it go when it isn't, and to constantly retain our inner serenity and self-respect. According to the famed Stoic philosopher Seneca, the man who is quiet and tranquil is not the guy who has fled from things, but who remains their master. May we all aspire to become emotional and life masters. Thank you for joining us on this trip through Stoicism and its relationship to love. If you found this video useful, please consider sharing and subscribing for more information like this. Remember that self-improvement is a journey that we are all on. Until next time, keep developing, learning, and striving to be your best self.